National Review contributing editor, Deroy Murdock, market watcher John Layfield, former Clinton campaign strategist and strategic communications director, I should say, Adrienne Elrod. All right, Deroy, my point on this is it's just not right, not remotely right.
I think you're correct. Listen, Donald J. Trump can't get a break from Newsweek or anybody else in the mainstream media. If he were doing even more, they wouldn't call him lazy boy. They'd say he's hyperactive. Why doesn't he calm down? So no matter what he does, he's going to be attacked. I think the main thing that he has done to improve this economy, which is now growing at a pretty steady clip, the unemployment labor figures are quite good today, is change the tone in Washington. Over 8 years of Obama, we heard that business, so you didn't build that, somebody else built that, and you're a businessman, you're evil, you're terrible, and so on. He's changed the tone and treated business people as heroes. People are creating jobs. I think the positive tone they hear coming out of Washington, D.C. administration has given...
He's not showing in his approval numbers.
I'm talking about in terms of business confidence and the desire of business people is to
enlarge business confidence and economic confidence is high.
Invest their money and so on.
And John Layfield,
better tone out of D.C.
Understood. You know, John, I don't miss for a second the fact that the president has created a lot of his problems and his own, stumbling into issues that he could have avoided by not going off topic, and the way he treats some of his personnel and the whole Jeff Sessions thing. We've got into that ad nauseum on this show and elsewhere. But there is a balance to it, and that's my argument, that there's not much balance here.
I would agree completely with that. Look, to me, this is shoddy, sensational journalism. Newsweek's had a lot of problems. They've been sold a couple times. They're trying to get some relevance out there, and they're doing it through this sensational photograph there. That, to me, is just not right either. Look, the president came in and promised health care reform. The reason that he felt so confident about that was Republicans had said for 7 years, day one, when we get back in charge, we're going to give you health care reform. He told them, I have a pen. Just get it to my desk. The Republicans have not done that. What they need to repeal
that could
and replace
also be
is the
him
Republican
trying to
Party.
foster it along. I definitely think it works both ways, and I understand the frustration here. But Adrienne, obviously, there's optimism on the part of Democrats who feel that this is a great opening for them. How do you feel?
Well, look, first of all, there's sensational journalism on both sides. I mean, this may be a little over the top to an extent, this Newsweek cover, but look,
a little.
Donald Trump has essentially done nothing. He's done nothing as president so far. He has no legislative accomplishments to point to.
No, that's not fair. So by the $4 trillion added market value, if it happened under Bill Clinton, which it did, of course, you give him credit. When it reverses, you wouldn't give him credit. A first new coal mine in Pennsylvania opening, the first in decades. 500 jobs, these new jobs and commitments of those who want to stay here, that just didn't happen like with a snap of fingers.
Yeah, well, look, in terms of coal jobs in West Virginia, I mean, the bottom line is those jobs are simply not coming back. There may be some new jobs that were recently created, but you're losing jobs in the coal industry every day.
I just named 500 that did. You can't even, but you are defining his success by legislative achievements. And you're quite right to point out, on that front, he's still coming up goose eggs. I agree with that. But you're ignoring all this other stuff because you don't see him through that prism.
Well, look, I also want to point out the fact that the Washington Post had a really interesting piece today on the 19 times that Donald Trump has called the jobs report fake news, and all of a sudden when it looks something that looks favorable toward him, he praises it and embraces the jobs report.
Every president does that. He wouldn't be the first one, but you live when they're looking good and you damn when they're not. But what do you think of this?
Well, I think there are legislative accomplishments. Very early on in the administration, President Trump signed 14 different Congressional Review Act bills, as they're called, which basically reversed regulations that were implemented towards the end of the Obama administration. He also signed this executive order, I think is brilliant. It simply says that before you add one new regulation to the federal books, you've got to kill 2 old ones. Very simple idea, very sensible idea. So I think in the area of...
In other words, if we define administrative success by legislative achievements, which is a very important barometer, I don't minimize it, and lose sight of what this other stuff, that's not right either.
No, and again, he signed legislation which is deregulatory. He's done very well in that area. And then in terms of executive orders to roll back red tape, he's done beautifully on that. I think it's a big reason why the economy is starting to pick up.
All right, we shall see. Guys, I want to thank you very much.